Hey friends, Kevin Gehring here, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly cat report. Oh my goodness, poor kitty. I want you guys to meet Jessie and Figaro. And who's this one? Jessie, on my right here, she's a little more camera shy, but my daughters foster and take care of little kittens. And we have Figaro, he's the boy. Let me see. He has less white on his face, and Jessie has more white. Jessie, we got her when she was 4 days old, and she weighed only 4 ounces. And now she's a whopping almost a pound, and she wants to go, go, go. And here, I'm going to give this one to my daughter, Mari. There, here, you can take little Jessie. And I got Figaro here. Figaro came a little bit later. He's a little more mellow. But he's also about a pound, about the same age. He came a little bit later, but can you imagine 4 ounces? They're almost like, 4 times as big as they were when we got them, and they're doing great. But these little guys and girls, they're available for adoption. So if you're interested and you want a little kitty, because they're going to go away, then, send me a message, and we'll get you a little kitty. You want to say goodbye, little guy? Say bye. Yeah, he's got a little squeaker. Can you squeak? There you go. Good squeaker. Thank you, Mari. So, and that's animals. We kind of do a lot with animals. It's one of the ways I like to give back. Here's a picture of me recently in my airplane. And one of the things that I do in my family is that we actually take our aircraft and we fly to certain areas of California where they have an overpopulation of animals and in the high kill shelters, and specifically down the Fresno area. And there are great volunteers who will take these animals, dogs and cats. This happens to be a load of 40 cats right here. And we take these animals, we fly them to other volunteers around the state who then rehabilitate them, get them healthy, get them spayed and neutered, and then out to foster homes. So there are a lot of really great people doing a lot of really great things out there, and I'm lucky to be part of it. So that's kind of something, a little bit about me. So, hey, what do you say we talk about real estate a little bit? Well, as always, let's start with the green line, the amount of available homes on the market, which is something that I've been watching very closely and hoping to see it come back up. Well, this week, we had a little bit of a downturn. Hopefully that's not a trend. I don't think it is. I've been listing more and more homes, bringing them on the market, but just as as expected, the minute a house comes on the market and it's priced appropriately, multiple offers. So here we go. We went down a little bit, but I'm hoping to see that continue to go back up. Pending sales continue their march up. Now, I was curious when this will probably plateau out. Now, if it's a normal market, well, the plateau is, well, that's not a normal market. Here, I'm looking at our statistics going back. Normal market is going to be plateauing right about now. So I don't know if that's going to happen. In fact, I would venture to say it's not, as long as we can keep the amount of homes coming. Buyers still are looking for homes. So I think we're going to see pending sales continue to go up to match the amount of available homes. So as long as those homes go up, pending sales are going to keep going up, which is going to keep driving up the sold. Now, talk about the spread between the amount of pending homes right now versus the number of available homes. It is without a doubt an all-time record since I've been keeping track. The number, we're at negative almost 2,600. 2,600 is the difference between the available homes and the pending sales homes. What is normal? Well, if we go back to the normal market, it's not a negative, it's more of a positive number. The spread is green on top, blue on the bottom. Green on top, blue on the bottom. And it just doesn't occur. If I go back in history, it really doesn't happen very often that we see an inversion. Here's one right here where the blue is on top, but otherwise, for the most part, it's usually green on top. Now, it does happen. We do get inversions, but certainly not like we're looking at right here. And there we go, driving up the median home price more and more and more. Again, buyers are having to get more creative with their offers to get noticed. And some of this is it's absolutely a little bit crazy, if you ask me. I'm doing things just a little bit different. Always have, I think I always will. one of the things that I'm doing different, at least as a listing agent, is I'm educating my buyers. I'm sorry, let me try that again. As a listing agent, I'm educating my sellers, the people selling, on why it's really not a great idea to do what everybody else is, to look for that cash offer, to look for the buyer who's willing to remove all of your contingencies up front. Because the whole idea is you need to anticipate the problems and prevent them from happening. And by that, I mean, if you think about it, if you are a buyer and you're trying to get your offer noticed, and so you go to seller and you say, hey, Mr. Seller, I am not going to have any inspection contingencies whatsoever. I promise you, I'm taking the house as is. And here is my $20,000 deposit. Let's just make it a huge deposit. That's more than normal. All right, so what happens if this buyer goes through the house and finds something important to them? Let's say there are drywood termites, which requires the house to be tented. Now, normally we have subterranean termites in our area, and you don't have to tent. You just spray and trench and treat the dirt. But tenting, that's very expensive. And so the buyer thinks, I'm not paying $5,000 to have this house tented, but they've already removed their contingencies, so they've already lost that negotiating power. Now, do you think that that buyer is going to walk away from their $20,000 deposit? Absolutely not. They're going to turn to a different contingency that's on there, a appraisal contingency or the loan contingency. And they're going to go back to that seller and they're going to say, hey, seller, how about you agree to fix these termites? And the seller says, no, you've already removed your contingency. And if you back out, I'm keeping your money, right? So what does the buyer do? They go to their loan officer and either they don't produce the documents that's needed or do something to get the loan denied or just get their loan officer to say, it's denied. And so they issue a letter back to the seller and they say, my loan fell apart, can't afford your house. So I am backing out under my loan contingency. Thank you, and give me my $20,000 back, and they walk away. So you can see how it just creates a mess. How much better would it be to actually go for an offer that is honest and upfront to begin with, where you realize that the buyer is going to do inspections and the buyer is going to want to talk about these things. Now, doesn't mean that you have to. In this crazy market, I also educate my sellers that even though the buyer comes to you with a giant wish list, you don't have to do this. You have multiple offers waiting in the background. Let's go to them and see if they would want this stuff done. And if they don't, then you can move away from this particular buyer and go to a different one or negotiate even tighter with this particular buyer. So I know there's just this huge aspect to it. I can even go on about why I believe a cash offer is not the best offer. In brief, cash buyers have power with most other agents. And so they will go to those agents and they will offer lower prices and they will get their offer accepted. Think about if you go for an offer that is still fantastic, but it's an FHA or maybe even has a second or a third attached to the FAA offer. You know what? Those buyers have been rejected every single home they've ever been to. Well, how much better is it to accept their offer if they're working with a known good loan officer who will close the loan? Then I'd say go with them. They're not going anywhere. And if they're going to offer your sellers the most money and it will appraise for that, then why not put more money in your sellers' pockets? That's the name of the game, right? So there's so much going on. Like I say, I think differently. I think that's because I'm a lender first. I was a lender first and also do now selling and buying of homes as well. So I can see all aspects of this coming together. So, hey, let's enough of that. Let's talk about rates real quick. So going back 2 weeks ago, we were at 3.04. Then we dropped down to 2.97. This week, Freddie Mac is reporting the average is 2.98. So 2 weeks in a row, we're back under 3%. All of that with a 0.7% in points up front. Rates are still holding strong. I am seeing more and more applications for refinances on my end because home prices, home values are so high that changes your loan to value, which has an effect on the rate you're going to get. So a lot of people are taking advantage of that spread in loan to value. They have a much lower loan to value, which means they're going to get a much better rate, which drops it well down below that 2.98. And so I'm still seeing a lot of people out there taking advantage of the refi market. It is definitely strong. It's still a great time to refi. So, hey, that's it. Don't forget about the kitties. If you guys are interested, send me a message. There are so many wonderful animals out there. I have several of my own two cats that we decided after fostering that we just wanted to keep. And of course, we've rescued a couple of dogs here and there. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys here next week. Take care. Bye.